Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name's Preston and today we are reviewing the new set, OP09, Emperors in a New World, and we are specifically covering the color black. And I think this is an exciting one because in general, black is good and it's fun to talk about because it kind of lives in a very fun meta space. We already talked about Luffy in the purple video. I will link it in the space that it always shows up in, just so you can go check out my opinions. I think I did a decent job explaining how I feel about it. So we're going to jump straight into Blackbeard because there's not very many Blackbeard pirate cards. I think there's 12 characters. So I don't think we'll get there. All right, let's start off with Marshall D. Teach himself. Permanent effect, your on-play effects are negated. It's new, it's different, and it's going to have a decent impact on black because a lot of the crazy stuff like Gecko Moria, and I think who else has it? Yeah, there's other on-play effects that I can't think of off the top of my head that are quite annoying and end up in like Sabo. Yeah, I'll start remembering them as I go, but this means the deck has to play new cards and cards that aren't those ones. So that's the first thing. Then, activate main. You can discard one card from your hand. Your opponent's on-play effects are negated until the end of their next turn. So this is really cool. This includes Nami Leader. So if you activate this ability, from my understanding, from what everyone has been talking about, you can't win via deck out while you're negated. That permanent effect is not possible, and you have to wait until you're not on notice from Teach Leader, which is kind of scary for Nami, I think, because at the end of the game, if Teach is able to just keep doing things and having cards to discard, you'll never get your effect and you're going to be like stalled out because all of your event cards are going to want to discard. Scary times for Nami players. But let's drop down to the next thing. We'll go through super rares first. This is a big blocker. Goodness gracious, that's a huge blocker. Starting off blocker, activate main once per turn if your leader is Blackbeard Pirates. And this was the first turn it was played. Negate the effects of up to one of your opponent's leaders during this turn. Also crazy. After that, negate the effects of up to one of your opponent's characters until the end of your opponent's next turn, and that character cannot attack. This card does it all. It has utility all the time with blocker, and on the turn that it's played, it stops your opponent's leader effects from activating, it stops a character's effect from activating, and it stops that same character from attacking. That's a crazy 10-drop. If anything, the leader and this effect are the whole reason you're playing the Blackbeard leader. Stopping your opponent's leader from activating its effect, that's insane. Takes away so much control that you just haven't been able to do so far. So that control is crazy. And then all the rest of the characters, they're okay. Like, they're not... I have to talk about this card because I think it is also very insane. There's a lot of crazy crap that's going on in black right now. And Katarina Devon, activate main once per turn if your leader has Blackbeard Pirates. This character gains any of these things. Or all of these things. I think it's one of these things. This character gains double attack, banish, or blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. If it's double attack and, I think it's or. In the Japanese, I feel like... or is between all of them. Okay. Any of these keyword traits you play characters for. So getting all of them is crazy. One turn, this character is double attack. If it lives, I feel like this character gets killed immediately. You're targeting this so fast because the first turn you do banish. You don't want them to take cards to their hand. Get rid of those triggers. And then you could do double attack. You threaten 2 damage. They have to block or they're taking 2 damage. And then at the end game, you're feeling confident. She's a blocker. That's wild that this card has so much utility and for no cost. There's no cost to it. That's crazy. You don't have to ditch a card from your hand. You don't have to pay Dawn. You just activate her. Wild. Moving on from there, we got a character that gains power based off of the number of cards in your trash. So you can play, I believe it's CP that drops cards into your trash so that you get stronger. I think we also have Thriller Bark that enjoys doing that because it also has a character that does this. We do have a couple characters that are not related to the Blackbeard Pirates. This is okay. I think it's going to be interesting. I would love to see some evolution in Thriller Bark and Gecko Moria. And I believe playing a character with 2 or less from your trash is good. I don't think I can imagine that being bad. Will it fit into the deck list though? And then we got Pudding doing stuff that it normally does. I believe the blue Pudding is also hand control, so it's really cool that this character has this effect most of the time. So when played, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, they must discard 1 card from their hand. I believe the blue Pudding also does that, which is could be devastating. Moving on to stuff, we got a Searcher. There is a lot of cost to this. You have to rest a Dawn and the character. Look at the top 5. It doesn't include himself, it appears, so you can, if you can search himself, that's not bad. Especially since you have to rest him, so he's going to be vulnerable. And then they go to the bottom of the deck in any order. There's an event that also searches top 3, and the cards go to trash. So that's one thing we'll have to be worried about if we do want to run an excessive amount of searchers, because our stage, I believe, also does that. Yeah, top 3 reveal Blackbeard Pirates. But this one could get dangerous because we are sending them to the trash, and we may not have the on-play effects to get it back if we ditch something that is not Blackbeard Pirates that we do want. And we have cards that we're going to want to play. We're going to probably want to play, I think Mansherry is interesting. I think Borsellino is an obvious one because he has no on-play effects. He's just good and is a decent-sized blocker. So we do have some cards. I think there's some decent KO stuff with low cost on attack that you might want to bring into this deck just to fluff it up, because there is so few characters, and I do think the characters, besides Katarina Devon, they just do the normal things, which is good because we don't want more crazy shit throughout this set. Let's finish up here with, if your leader has Blackbeard Pirates, nullify the effect of up to 1 of your opponent's characters during this turn. Then if it has a cost of 4 or less, KO it. I think that's pretty expensive for a KO. I think we can find better things for KO. So if we target higher powered characters, at least higher costed characters, we can negate a very strong character for a turn for only 4 Dawn, which could be quite nice, especially if you don't have Teach yet, or you're holding Teach for in-game, like really wanting to finish the game with him. Other than that, I don't really know if these guys are worth talking about. They all have something: reduce the cost, draw a card when KO'd. Then this is draw a card -2. And then I believe this is draw a card and some other stuff. So they do normal things, which is good. And you're going to be playing probably a few of them, because I can't imagine you playing your Blackbeard with all Navy cards. I don't think there's enough like activate mains for it to make sense. So at best, you're going to build out of a mix. And I think that's kind of where I want to like really understand this set. Because every other set, every other color in the set, I'm talking about the set as a whole and how I feel about it. And I feel like it's really hard to introduce a brand new archetype like this without like a starter deck to help it. And this just has the 12 characters and 3 events and a stage or whatever it is. and that's it. And that's, I think, really rough to build a deck around. And you always want to have a little bit more, so we're gonna have to pull from other stuff. So as a set, the leader, huge, S tier level stuff. The super rare teach, ridiculous, but balanced because it can only be played in this deck, but stupid ridiculous. So it's like a B tier set that's gonna have S tier potential because you're just gonna pare it down into all of the good stuff that you already want to play. And I think that ends up making it like A to S tier, just because being able to negate your opponent's stuff is gonna be so bad. And we'll have to see how it overall affects everything. But I think it teaches ridiculous, and I think the set is good. I know we're going to be getting more Blackbeard Pirates in the next few sets. I can't imagine they do a one set Blackbeard Pirates. And I wouldn't doubt getting a starter deck in the future that would also bolster this, because I do think that we do need more characters, and most things, like, we'll end up with a dual color leader or something that will help improve that. In the set we didn't, mono Blackbeard, so we're stuck with what we got here. And that leader effect though, goodness gracious, that leader effect, I think that's the thing that's setting apart every other set, every other color that we've looked at so far is good like character cards and a pretty decent leader. This is an incredible leader with just the character cards that you would expect, a blocker and all that stuff. So in the comments down below, if you're still here, let me know what you think about my opinions on this, because I could be completely missing it, and I really want to know how you feel about Blackbeard. And while you're down there, go ahead, hit that subscribe. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you want to get more One Piece TCG, hit that subscribe. I already said that. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, peace.